When Jesus was in Jerusalem this week, it's clear he was unhappy with what he saw in the temple. This was God's house, but he was not pleased with what it had become. The temple had evolved into a commercial enterprise with rules that restricted access to only certain people. In other words, it was there to make money and to reinforce exclusivity. After overturning many of the tables of the merchants and money changers, Jesus said, "My house shall be a house of prayer for all nations." Jesus made this statement while standing near a short wall that displayed a threatening sign to those who were not Israelites. Foreigners who tried to pass the wall would be killed, and temple police were armed and ready to enforce this rule. For Jesus to pronounce his house, the temple, as a house of prayer for all nations is a remarkable statement. Matthew chapter 21. Listen to another parable Jesus said. There was once a landowner who planted a vineyard, put a fence around it, dug a hole for the winepress, and built a watchtower. Then he let out the vineyard to tenants and went on a journey. When the time came to gather the grapes, he sent his slaves to the tenants to receive his share of the harvest. The tenant seized his slaves, beat one, killed another, and stoned another. Again, the man sent other slaves, more than the first time, and the tenant treated them the same way. Last of all, he sent his son to them. "Surely they will respect my son," he said. But when the tenants saw the son, they said to themselves, "This is the owner's son. Come on, let's kill him and we will get his property." So they seized him, threw him out of the vineyard and killed him. Now, when the owner of the vineyard comes, what will he do to those tenants? Jesus asked. "He will certainly kill those evil men," they answered, "and let the vineyard out to other tenants who will give him his share of the harvest at the right time." Jesus said to them, "Haven't you ever read what the scriptures say? The stone which the builders rejected as worthless turned out to be the most important of all. This was done by the Lord. What a wonderful sight it is. And so I tell you," added Jesus, "the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to a people who will produce the proper fruits."
Again, let's just think about what we've heard read to us. When Jesus said all nations, this meant other national or ethnic groups, other people not ordinarily welcomed into religious places. Jesus didn't miss an opportunity to include those who were usually excluded. In these days, although we're not able to meet in our churches, in God's house, we are reminded that each one of us is God's temple, for he dwells within each of us. As individuals, we should be welcoming of all, no matter what their background or status. Give some thought in the days ahead and act. How can I extend a welcome to others who have found little welcome in life? How can I make a difference in these days to lessen the isolation people are feeling? Remember, Jesus said, "My house shall be called the house of prayer for all nations."